Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Founding Mothers of Hot and Talking podcast.
Hot and talking. Hot and talking.
I'm your host, Valerie.
I'm Jamie.
And today we decided to do a little research and report for you guys. No write-ins, all us.
All us. It's a lot of work, guys.
Yes, a lot. We got a lot to talk about. And who we are talking about is Andrea Yates. Okay?
Yeah.
And we'll touch on postpartum psychosis, which is something that she was diagnosed with. But before we get into Andrea Yates, we always like to talk about us.
Yeah.
We want to just update y'all on us. And we get to update each other on each other because this is our time to hang out.
I know.
This is our hour of us.
I know. It's much needed, guys. It's much needed. Like our little therapy session.
It really is.
You know?
And we invite you all here into that.
Yeah.
So
yeah. We were literally just talking about periods before we started recording.
Right. Because I have to pee, but I'm on my period and I was like, I don't want to have to change my tampon right now. So I'm just going to hold it for an hour.
And I think it's crazy that you don't change, that you change your tampon every time you pee.
Yeah, because I don't want.
I hold the string.
I don't. If I'm going to touch. Yeah. See, I remove the tampon to pee because if I'm going to touch the string, I might as well just take it out and put a new one in.
That's what soap and water is for, Val.
Yeah, but still, I don't want there to be pee contamination in the tampon. It just grosses me out. But
I love it.
Moving on.
Okay.
Although we could talk about that for hours. I don't know if you guys
could.
Yeah. Okay. Love and hates for the week.
What was yours?
Okay. So I have a client who is a photographer. And every time she comes in to get a massage, we kind of talk about what she's been up to with photography and whatever. And she was explaining that they had a project, her and her photography club, where they made pinhole cameras out of you can make them out of old coffee containers or cans or whatever, where you get, she uses, and she suggested that if I were to make one, and I'm going to buy expired photo developing paper on eBay.
Okay.
Which is what I did, and which I'm excited for this project because she explained where you tape up where any light could come through and you put the paper in there and you poke a little hole, like a tiny pinprick hole.
Okay.
And you leave it for a long exposure somewhere. Where she did up in the mountains.
Yeah.
Her project was tampered with by a disgruntled camper. So hers didn't turn out great, I don't think, but I'm really excited to do this with the family.
Yeah.
They're called pinhole or tin cameras, tin type cameras.
Okay.
Or camera obscura.
Oh,
if
very
you can
cool.
Google it. Yeah. And look up how to do it. It's super easy.
I bet it's going to come out so cool.
I'm very excited. Yeah. Mine probably won't be as crispy and cool as some other people that are really into photography, but I'm excited to try it.
Oh,
so that was my love.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I love that.
And my hate is periods.
Oh,
that's my hate. So
yeah.
It hurts.
we shed the fucking lining of our guts.
Oh my guts.
Oh God. Okay. So I don't have any hates this week.
That's good.
But I have 3 loves.
I want to hear all of them.
Okay. So me and Josh had our 18-year anniversary on Saturday, which also is a shared date with Father Forecast, my best friend Gilbert. So we went out and celebrated, and we went and had sushi for dinner, and then we went to Detention, which is a pool hall in Tower. But they also have the little speakeasy called the Library. And so we got to go in there and like have a couple drinks. Me and Josh didn't stay too late because I had like a lot of stuff to do on Sunday and I just could not be hungover and lose a day. You know?
I saw that detention got a little facelift.
It looks really good.
Yeah. I saw that the walls are painted and everything. Yeah. It looks cool.
The library looks really good too. Like there's, I believe it's under new ownership.
Yeah.
So those were two of my loves. And then my daughter, Sienna, is having her 20th birthday on Saturday.
Are you effing kidding me?
Yeah.
20?
20.
How did that much time go by?
I don't know. But she's kind of sad that she's not a teenager anymore.
I've known her for 16 years.
16 years.
Oh my God.
Know. It's like that little thing on SpongeBob. 16 years later.
And she's an actual beauty queen.
She's just lovely and amazing. And just, I'm so excited to see what she does with her life because she's a goal-oriented little baby
I'm so
girl.
proud of her. And happy birthday to you, Bug and Rug.
Happy birthday, baby. So those were my loves.
Good. I love it.
And I didn't really have any hates this week.
It's good to not have hate in your heart.
Yeah. I mean, other than my little mental breakdown.
A little minty bean.
You know what? It turns out I was just hungry.
That happens to me a lot.
I called Josh crying and he was like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine.
Okay. You briefly started telling me about this.
Yeah.
This was because you're in the process of a salon.
Yes. And the electrical within that space is just fucked. So we have to redo a bunch of like things that we weren't really expecting. And I was like, did I make a mistake? Am I doing the right thing? You know?
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I know I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Like,
You're going to be so happy.
It's going to be fine.
Yeah. This is just a huge hurdle.
Yeah.
But once you're over it and everything's done, it's smooth sailing. You already have your clientele that you've had for years.
Yeah.
You're amazing at what you do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And it's all you, though. You put in the work. You literally transform me every time. And it makes me.
And it was just like I had worked all day. Then I went to the new salon and worked there all day, like all night. And I realized I hadn't eaten anything all day. And I was like, what the fuck? This is why I'm like, I'm a baby.
Yes, baby needs some food.
I need snakes.
She's a little snake.
Turns out that's just what it was. Because as soon as I ate, it was fine. I was like,
never mind, you guys.
Never mind. What was that?
It's food.
Disregard that last phone call, Josh.
Oh. Did you eat anything good when you finally ate? Have you been eating anything good lately?
So listen, I just found out that Chipotle is gluten-free. Almost everything on their menu except for their flour tortillas.
Right. Yeah.
Is gluten-free. I love Chipotle.
Yeah.
I mean, I could do Chipotle at home too, but
I love Chipotle at home.
In a pinch when I'm, at the salon and I need something quick to eat, I'm so excited about that.
I love Chipotle.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell you about this little recipe that I tried yesterday.
Okay, tell me.
Oh my God, Jamie. Okay, so I had bought this this egg cooker. You put 7 eggs in and then you just put a little water and you turn it on and then it'll like hard boil or soft boil your eggs for you.
Which I'm perfect bowl.
The perfect bowl. And I saw this this recipe video for, it's like the same ingredients or seasonings you would use for like a seafood boil, I guess, but it's egg boil. Dude,
I do it all the time.
I am fucking obsessed. I ate 4 of them yesterday.
Yes.
Just that's what I had for lunch.
Yep. Me and Sienna make that all the time.
With the Old Bay and the Slap Ya Mama. With the onion and the garlic.
Okay. Have you used the Slap Ya Mama hot sauce?
I just bought Slap Ya Mama seasoning for the first time ever.
Okay.
So I'm new to the Slap Ya Mama.
Okay. You have to try the hot sauce.
Okay.
It is like the perfect, like for this.
Yeah.
And like I call it the breakfast hot sauce because it's more like vinegar based.
I'm not a vinegar gal, but I'll try it.
You'll like it.
Okay.
Try it and you'll like it. No, those are amazing. And you can do that like recipe with anything. I did it with cabbage.
That does sound good too.
I like got a head of cabbage and did the exact same thing with it.
Yeah.
I just smothered it in that seasoning butter, like oil thing. It's freaking amazing if you like cabbage. I don't know, but
I like cabbage,
love cabbage.
like a cabbage wedge. Yeah, no, so good. Would recommend.
Yeah.
Also, did you see in the recent news how processed meats is linked to cancer and is in the same category as like smoking cigarettes or asbestos? Like you can't eat ham anymore.
Oh man.
And like Donnie's actually the one that like told it to me because he follows all of these. Like,
this is like lunch meat.
Yeah,
so
it's
like deli meat, even if you buy it like fresh deli meat from like the deli.
I'm sure it completely depends on what kind you're getting and like where, like I'm thinking that they're talking more about like salamis and pepperonis and ham, like highly salted and processed.
Salami.
Yeah, but I think it's the more processed stuff because of the nitrates and all of that.
Oh, gotcha.
But I thought that was very interesting because turkey is a huge part of my quick little snack situation.
Yeah. Okay, so I buy like, because Kingston and Josh and Dixon all eat, like they love sandwiches. And so I just go to like the deli section and I have them slice it and it's nitrate free. If you go to the like fresh part of the deli, if you buy it like prepackaged, I think that's when you're getting like all of the nitrates and things like that.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know about how the nitrates get there, but I
looked into it only because Kingston used to eat so many turkey sandwiches.
Yeah.
And so I started like getting kind of concerned. So I was like,
good for you.
The nitrates are going to fuck you up, my guy.
Yeah.
You know? So I did look into that at one point, but I didn't know that about salami, and I'm sad about that.
Yeah, I think it's
I love a little.
You'd have to all go and check out for yourself, obviously. Like, but I guess there's just like research done to where it's like showing that it's cancerous.
That's you know what? I feel like so much of our food is these days.
I know.
It's really sad. I mean, we need to get with like Europe and other places that expel
our new
bad
food pyramid, our upside down pyramid is, kind of pushing for a better diet for everybody, which I'm excited for. I agree with it completely.
Yeah. I heard Red Dye 40 is going to be taken out of a lot of things.
Oh, it has been. Yeah. That's why like they make like the Doritos and Cheetos and all of that. They have like the ones that are made without any dyes. Those are the only ones we buy now. That we've been only buying those for.
Okay, what about hot Cheetos? Is that
hot
still
Cheetos? They make them, but
40?
No.
What?
Nope. And
it's all out.
Yep. And
hell yeah.
One of Donnie's coworkers actually got, because I don't buy the hot Cheetos anymore because I just don't think it's because of the red 40. I'm like, this is not good for us.
Yeah.
But and they hurt my tummy. But he said that he brought them to work and he was eating them. They're like, they're still spicy. They're just not red. And I was like, that's great. That's great news.
I love that.
Yeah.
And Trader Joe's does have a very good option for like, it's like chip. The Takis.
But they're Trader Joe's Takis.
But they're like organic and
they're
healthy.
Colored. Yeah, they're colored with like paprika and things like that. That we do buy those. Those are the only ones that will go all the way to Trader Joe's. Honestly, but speaking of Trader Joe's, did you hear about that mother and son that were hit in the parking lot in Clovis?
Oh my God, yes. And the guy was drunk, right?
He was under the influence. I don't know of what though. The article I read didn't say.
Okay,
what,
yeah, I think it was under the influence.
But I saw a video of one of the passerbys, and it was like the little boy was crying. Like Violet was watching it with me, and we were like, "Oh my God, this poor little baby." Was crying. The mom was on the phone. Yeah, it was tragic.
They're okay though.
They are. I did see that they were like recovering in the hospital.
Yeah.
But I was like, that damn Trader Joe's parking lot. Any Trader Joe's you go to, that place is wild.
It is crazy.
People need to calm down in that parking lot.
I know. Whole Foods would never. You can't get people to move.
Yeah.
They drive like this fast.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I drive that like because there's like the speed bump and then people are always, and I'm like, just go. Just everybody go.
I know.
Go on.
Same. Girl, yes. Okay. Did you also hear that Spencer Pratt? Do you know who that is?
Yes.
is running for Los Angeles mayor.
I did see that. Yeah.
Okay.
He's about had enough.
I am here for it. I'm gonna follow his campaign for sure. He might get my vote. Honestly, it's got to be better than what's going on right now.
Can you vote for that?
Well, he's running for mayor, so apparently, we're gonna be voting at some point.
But the mayor of Los Angeles,
Yeah,
don't we have our own mayor?
I don't know.
Like you can't
vote for LA's mayor?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's weird. We live in California. I thought we were all united.
No, I think everybody, because we have a mayor.
You know what, guys? I'm not political. I don't follow things very
Wait, I mean, am I wrong?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Should we jump?
We'll come back. Stay tuned. We'll be back on that.
We'll be back on that one.
Did you happen to look up any Houston stuff?
I haven't found any new findings.
That crap
nothing is
nuts.
Yeah. It's weird that they're not calling it a serial killer.
Yeah.
Like they're refusing to say what it actually is. And it's like, come on, guys. We all know. Like,
yeah. Or if, I mean,
it's so weird.
So many bodies from so many years, like past, like it's got to be something.
Yeah.
If not multiple serial killers, like it could, I don't know.
It could be a team.
I do think we should go deeper into this at some point coming up when they do have more information, or just go back on all the information that is available, because there's a lot of bodies that were found.
A lot. I think it's up to like 38. Don't quote me on that number, but it was in the high 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Have you been watching anything crazy? Because I have. One of which kind of inspired this this podcast episode, which is the Andrea Yates the cult documentary. Yeah. And then also, I don't know if you watched the new TLC's My Strange Addiction.
No, I haven't watched TV in probably like 2 weeks, unfortunately, and I miss it.
I miss it a lot. A woman who nasally ingests her food.
Oh my God. Okay. I think I did see something about this.
Yeah.
I think you might have sent it to me.
I probably did, because I saw it online before I watched the full episode.
That is wild.
She does not like the feeling of food in her mouth.
No.
She's a texture hater, and she will blend up her food and use like milk or water or olive oil, whatever she needs to make it a liquid.
No.
And then she will take a straw and suck it up her nostril, and it goes down her throat, and she goes, that's good.
She must have zero gag reflex, because I would immediately eyes water, throw up. It's coming out the mouth and nose.
Listen, there is a scene where she's been dating this guy. I think they said 6 months, and he had no idea that she nasally ingests her food. They just, every date they've gone on, it never involved food. So she has him meet her at a little restaurant and he orders food. She orders, she says, is there anything that you serve that can be sucked through a straw? And the guy's like, kind of like, what? And the girl's like, oh, we have grits or like soup or something like that. And so she orders the grits and like a coffee. And the lady's like, oh, it's really hot, so be careful. And then the girl grabs her iced coffee and starts snorting her drink up her nose. And the boyfriend is like, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing right now? And she's like, this is how I do it.
After 6 months.
Yes.
She never drank a single thing in front of him. And he didn't clock that and think like, why isn't this girl eating or drinking anything?
Yeah.
She is a hungry, dehydrated bitch. Like,
yeah. And
there was something going on with him as well. If he did not think that was odd after 6 months, they never shared a meal.
I would agree with that, but I don't know what their dating style was like. I don't know how, we really don't know how serious they were, like they could have like hung, I don't know. But her best friend was definitely like, you waited too long to let him know. He should have known immediately.
Yeah.
So that was it was so strange.
That's a little crazy.
So strange.
I mean, my strange addiction. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? So, should we get into it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this episode topic, Andrea Yates, we're going to go ahead and give a little trigger warning for those of you that might be triggered by death, murder, infanticide, attempted suicide, depression, things of those natures.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna get a little heavy, guys.
Yeah, it's a little heavy. So we decided to skip the some of the
silliness of our beginnings.
But we'll be back on our silly shit next week for sure.
Plus
probably 110% silly. Okay. So we're going to start off with a little background on her growing up. Andrea Yates, she was born Andrea Kennedy in Houston, Texas in July of 1964. And she is known for unaliving her 5 children by drowning them in a bathtub one by one in June of 2001. She exhibited signs of severe postpartum depression, postpartum psychosis, and schizophrenia leading up to the murders. And we'll start with her as a youngster. She grew up the youngest of 5 children. Her mother was a German immigrant and her father had an Irish immigrant background. She was raised in a strict Catholic household. Andrea was successful in her high school years. She was the captain of the swim team, an officer in the National Honor Society, and she was even her class valedictorian. Although she was successful, it was said that she also suffered from depression, bulimia, and thoughts of suicide. And she would talk to some friends about that.
I also read, going back to like her family home life, she was not allowed to have big feelings or thoughts or anything that was going to disrupt emotion in her house.
Okay.
It was all very like
push it down,
push it down, push it down, push it down. And I think that is kind of
it sets
foreshadowing
the tone
for her future, which we're getting into.
Right.
But yeah, I just wanted to throw that little
that was a really good point. She worked as a registered nurse for 8 years after graduating from the University of Texas Health Science Center at Houston. In 1989, she met Russell Yates, known as Rusty. He was
Rusty.
Rusty. He was a NASA engineer who was living in the same apartment complex as her in Houston. 4 years later, he would become her husband when they married in 1993. Andrea and Rusty Yates were devout evangelical Christians.
Yeah.
It was their aim to seek to have as many babies as nature would allow.
Yes.
And that is what they
or
would
God
say.
would allow.
Right.
Like it was a cult of one in this one.
Their first son, Noah, was born in February of 1994. At this time, Rusty had accepted a new job and the family moved from Texas to Florida, and they lived in a small trailer in Seminole, and that's near Tampa Bay. The family then moved back to Houston by the time their 3rd child was born, and they bought and lived out of a 1978 GMC motorhome bus. And Rusty had purchased this bus from Michael Woroneicki.
And he was the one.
Right. So during this time, the family was heavily involved in the teachings of Michael Woroneicki.
Yeah.
And he was the leader of an evangelical cult.
Right.
So I want to get into who Michael Woroneicki was a little bit.
Yeah.
And we will touch back on their influence a little bit later on.
Okay.
So Woroneicki is known for spreading the word of God at college campuses and events all across the United States.
Yeah. Wasn't it him and his wife would travel around to college campuses like
with the big signs.
influencing youngsters that probably needed something at that time.
Right. That's actually,
believe in,
that's actually where Rusty met Michael, was at his college.
Right.
And his teachings, Michael's teachings, were described as extreme, apocalyptic, and cult-like.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, Andrea gave birth to their fourth child. And she, and at that time, her depression started to resurface.
Yeah.
So, she had
4 babies, like within, what was it, 5 years?
Yeah. They're all very close in age.
That does something to a woman's psyche, their body, their hormones. Like they say that it takes a good year to really reset your body after having a baby.
Yeah.
And when you're back to backing,
it's just it's a lot.
It's just a stack.
And during this time,
hormones and things going on.
Yeah. And they followed Woroneicki and his wife, like their teachings, like this pretty much the whole time.
Yeah.
So that was their basis for like how you should live.
And there was statements that she recently came out with saying that there was times where she didn't want to have sex because she did not want another baby now. And Rusty, almost like bullied her into that.
It was very much religiously charged.
Religiously charged. Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
In June of 1999, Rusty found Andrea frantic, shaking, and biting her nails. The next day, Andrea attempted suicide by ingesting pills. She was admitted to the hospital and prescribed antidepressants at that time. Rusty recalls finding Andrea in the bathroom soon after her release with a knife to her own throat, asking him to just let her die. So there was some tension. There was some stuff going on.
Yeah.
She was then readmitted to the hospital and placed on several medications, including an antipsychotic. And it was called Haldol. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was another one that it's, I have it written down.
Yeah.
I'll touch on that in a minute.
But yeah, her condition improved on the Haldol. Mm-hmm. Like it worked for her. It was a part of a cocktail that her doctor had prescribed. And the family then moved into a small house with more stability during her recovery. So they moved out of their van, their motorhome.
Can you imagine 4 kids
I cannot.
living in a van?
I cannot. No. I go in camping for a week at a time with all the kids in a little camper. Mm-hmm. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that being
That's not fair.
Life. No.
That's not fair to her.
Yeah, it was a lot.
And you're a NASA engineer, Rusty.
Right. He's got a great job.
Get this woman a house.
Yeah. So a month later, in July of 1999, Andrea attempted suicide 2 more times, which led to 2 more hospitalizations. During that nervous breakdown, she was diagnosed finally with postpartum psychosis. And I kind of want to talk about what that is and what the difference is between postpartum psychosis and postpartum depression.
Right. But there was also, I feel like, so many other diagnoses throughout her years of going through this. There was one that she was diagnosed with schizophrenia, with bipolar disorder,
right, and
just all these different things. It was like, I feel like from what I got and what I read, it was so like situational that every time she went in, they were just treating her for that particular situation and not looking at the long-term effects of what has been happening or the past effects. Right.
Well, there was, like when she was being admitted into this hospital later on, I listened to a podcast that really went in depth on when she was being seen. The doctor would kind of not really know how to treat her. And then her aftercare, like her insurance would run out. They would say, you've got to leave the hospital this time. And now you're in an outpatient program. But the outpatient program was set for people with drug abuse issues and alcohol issues. And it just was not the proper care for her.
Yeah.
Because she was neither of those things.
Right.
She needed psychological help, not just to talk about people talking about being under the,
she needed to be institutionalized and get the proper medication.
Yeah.
And the proper care with the proper therapy or psychology or whatever the backing was for her situation.
Right.
She didn't get any of that. Like the system, I feel like failed her a bit.
Right. It did. And so the differences between the two, postpartum depression and postpartum psychosis, postpartum depression or PPD, it involves intense sadness, anxiety, and the loss of interest. And it is a non-psychotic depression. And a lot of women experience this after childbirth.
Absolutely.
It's very common.
Yeah.
But postpartum psychosis or PPP is a severe medical emergency with symptoms like delusion, hallucinations, severe agitation, confusion, and manic or depressive episodes. And it is a psychotic episode.
Yeah.
And it is way less common for this to happen.
Yeah.
In fact, the podcast I had listened to, which I will cite that source in the show notes, so you guys can take a listen to. He explained, because he's a doctor, and he explained throughout his whole medical history, he's only really encountered one patient that he was aware of that had postpartum psychosis as opposed to postpartum depression.
Right.
So it's very much not as common.
And there was, so I can't remember this fact. Before she had kids, did she have signs of any mental illness?
She did.
Other than like the eating disorders and things like that?
She had confided in a friend, I believe it was in her high school years, that she had thoughts of suicide.
Okay.
Yeah. So she was probably like it.
She kind of dealt with that ideology for a while.
Yeah. Later she was diagnosed with bipolar.
Right.
So, and she was later put on, like, she's on lithium, like that helped her. So, that was where she's at this time.
Okay.
Andrea's first psychiatrist, Dr. Eileen Starbranch, strongly recommended that Andrea and Rusty not have any more children after this diagnosis, as the chances of psychosis returning were far more likely. She said it would guarantee future psychotic depression. So it was like, once it's happened, it's happened. You should probably, not risk it again with having more children.
Do we feel like Rusty is part of this problem?
We will get into that.
Okay.
We will get into that.
Inquiring minds.
Yeah.
I have some questions about that guy.
The couple did not listen to the advice of the doctor, and their fifth and final child was conceived about 2 months after her hospital discharge. Andrea stopped taking her antipsychotic medication Haldol in March of 2000, and their daughter was born 8 months later. So they're thinking, oh, it worked so great. We'll just put her back on it if she needs it again.
Yeah.
Which is flawed thinking, because that's not how it works.
Right.
So yeah.
And okay, so I did look up the medications that she was on. It was Haldol, and then it was Effexor.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And both of these medications
have
side effects have suicidal and homicidal ideologies.
Yes, I believe that was added after this, though.
Okay.
From what I read, I believe that warning had needed to be added after this happened. So at this point, the Yateses have 5 children. They've got Noah, they have John, they have Paul, Luke, and Mary, the youngest.
Yeah, she's a baby.
Yes. Andrea seemed to be coping well for about a year until her father passed away in March of 2001. He had been suffering from Alzheimer's for about 7 years and spent the last 6 months of his life in a wheelchair. And like we know, it's hard to lose your dad. And she was very close with her father, and she took his passing really hard.
And she had just had Mary.
Right.
So that all tacked on.
She like, I can't even imagine having, that 5 children.
Well, it didn't happen to me, but I had just had Dixon and then my dad died.
Yeah.
It's kind of sent me through a little bit of a loop for a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
So having 5
young, very, very young, all under the age of 7. Yeah.
I know. With probably very little help.
Right.
Because her husband seemed
working full time. Yeah. She was a full-time mom.
Yeah.
So she fell back into depression. She stopped taking her medications, started reading her Bible feverishly, and began self-harming.
Yeah.
She would pick at her scalp until it would bleed and insisted that the mark of the devil, 666, was on her scalp. So she was trying to scratch it off. Yeah. That was her delusion, that there was 666 on her scalp. She stopped feeding Mary. She would hold Mary. Yeah. She wouldn't put her down.
Yeah. Almost like catatonic, like absolutely just very catatonic. Just numb, blank, not really a feeling or a thought behind those eyes.
Yeah. So she was again hospitalized after she was completely incapacitated. Yeah. Like she just was not there. In April of 2001, Andrea was under the care of Dr. Saeed. That was her new doctor. Mm-hmm. So her old doctor was Dr. Starbranch. Her new doctor is Dr. Saeed. And this doctor is at the hospital in which we were just talking about previously, where she wasn't really getting what she needed. Her aftercare was not what she needed. So Saeed had refused to start Andrea back on the regimen of the antipsychotic Haldol. For some reason, didn't want to put her back on. And that's the treatment that had worked for her during her first breakdown in 1999. It seemed as though Dr. Saeed had also not checked Andrea's past medical records that showed she had symptoms of hearing voices and having visions. So there was no communication between the old doctor and the new doctor, which is not cool, man.
Yeah. And back then, I feel like records might not have been as easily accessible.
I don't think that's an excuse. No? This is almost 2000. Like this is recent.
Okay. I thought it was like.
Yeah. I mean, you would think that.
No, her first baby was born 1994. So that I think that's where I'm going. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm back now.
So after one hospital stay, Dr. Saeed reluctantly prescribed Haldol back, or put her back on Haldol, but took her off again a couple of weeks later. And they cited that they were worried about side effects, which you mentioned.
Yeah.
So maybe it was on there, that side effect. I don't know.
I feel like when people are prescribed, or when Big Pharma is prescribing medications, they should fully know the side effects, period.
Right.
Like, or don't prescribe it.
Yeah. Well,
like we're not in a test lab, and I'm going to get off topic because I hate Big Pharma.
I know, so do I. But yeah, no, I'm really feeling for this family at this point, because they knew that Haldol worked before, and I'm sure they were desperately wanting it to work again. I think that Rusty was trying really hard to get her back on her cocktail of medications that she was on previously, because he knew that it was working.
Yeah.
And he was trying to advocate for his wife at this time. She couldn't get her in to see, the doctor.
And Haldol is a shot, I believe.
Is it?
It's a shot. So because they couldn't get her to take pill form medicine every day.
Yeah.
So they would take her in to have her
injected.
Okay,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So by May 3rd of 2001, Andrea had degenerated back to a near catatonic state. In the middle of the day, she filled the bathtub up with water with some pretty nefarious intentions. The next day, she was hospitalized for her she was hospitalized, and her psychiatrist deemed she was likely suicide. And they assumed that filled bathtub was for herself.
Yeah.
She was treated and sent back home. And later she had confessed to police that she had planned to drown her children that day, but decided against it.
Okay.
So she's thinking about it.
Okay. But wasn't Rusty's mother visiting daily to help her with the kids at this point?
So when Mary was born, Rusty's mom moved to the city they were living in. I think she was staying out of a hotel room, and she was coming to help periodically. So, and we'll get into that right now.
Okay.
Rusty had testified that Andrea's condition had started to worsen in the days leading up. But Dr. Seed had refused to place her back on Haldol and or readmit her into the hospital. So on June 20th, 2001, Andrea Yates did the unthinkable. And this is where we're getting into the worst day of the whole thing. Yeah. That day, Rusty had left for work, leaving Andrea alone with the children in their suburban home in Clear Lake, Texas. Dr. Saeed had warned against leaving her unsupervised with the children due to her condition. And this is where Dora, Rusty's mother, comes in. She was actually scheduled to come over that day. But there was about an hour's time between Rusty leaving for work and Dora coming to help with the children.
Yes.
Rusty had started leaving Andrea alone with the kids for short amounts of time leading up to this tragic day. But in that hour, Andrea drowned her children.
And I think she knew that she only had an hour because they were trying to give her more like parental independence and make her feel like a mom again, trying to get her to feel like herself.
Right.
And
yeah. So Andrea describes waiting for Rusty to leave for work, knowing that he would stop her from harming the children if he knew what she was up to. She then filled the bathtub up with water and locked the family dog up because the dog was usually running around the house, just free to roam or whatever.
Yeah.
So the police had found the dog locked up. So she likely locked the dog up so that the dog wouldn't interfere with what she was about to do.
Right.
In her confession, she described starting with the three younger boys, John, Paul, and Luke, who were 5, 3, and 2 at the time.
Yeah.
After drowning them, she took each of their bodies out of the tub and laid them in her bed. She then went to the youngest, Mary, who was only 6 months old, and she left her floating in the tub. Their oldest son, Noah, who was 7 at the time, came in and he saw Mary in the tub. He asked Mom, what's wrong with Mary?
Yeah.
And she says, get in the tub. He starts to run. He tries to run away. Yeah.
Wow.
She quickly catches him and does the same to him. She drowns him and leaves him floating in the water. And then she takes young little Mary and she places her in the arms of her brother, John, who was laying in the bed.
Yeah. She almost placed them like little dolls in the bed from what I was reading.
Right. Yeah.
Like she was trying to wrong her or right her wrong or something. Yeah.
It was then that Andrea called the police and requested assistance, but refused to tell them why. She also called Rusty and told him to come home right away. He was at work. And she had said to him on the phone, she said, "It's time."
What does that mean?
Right.
What does that mean?
It's time. Yeah. So she hangs up the phone. Rusty leaves work, stating that he has a family emergency. He calls Andrea back.
Do you think he knew or had
he
like
had
a
to have
feeling?
some awful feeling? Like there's got to be some intuition. So he calls her back and he asks, "Is anybody hurt?"
Yeah.
And she said yes. So Rusty asked who? And Andrea replied, "The kids." And he says, "Which ones?" And then she says, "All of them."
Oh, that is crazy.
Yeah.
That is
so when the police arrive, Andrea opened the door.
devastating.
Yeah.
Is a better word.
Right. Yeah. No. When the police arrive, Andrea opened the door. She's breathing heavily. Her clothing is soaking wet. Her long dark hair is hanging at her face. The officer asked why she needed police assistance, and she just outright tells him, I just killed my kids.
Okay, in the call, she specified, I don't need an ambulance, I need a police officer. Isn't that fucking like, there's a level of creepy there that is like fuck, dude.
Yeah.
She knew that there was nothing anybody could do.
Upon arrival, Rusty was not allowed to enter the home. It was an active crime scene at that point.
Yeah.
His absolute worst nightmare had become a reality.
Yeah.
So police informed Rusty that all 5 of his children were deceased.
Yeah.
He fell to the ground screaming.
And at this point, Dora was not there, his mother. And so I read that he thought that Noah was with her. So he was hanging on hope
that there was one final
that he had until his mom showed up.
Because the oldest son would periodically stay with his mother overnight. Yeah. So he could see Andrea through the window of the home. And because when all this was happening, she was sitting on the couch with the officer that had gotten there, and just kind of, she was just catatonic still. She was just like no emotion.
Yeah.
So he's screaming through the window, how could you do this? How could you do this?
Yeah.
So it's very traumatic. Like, I cannot even imagine.
Yeah. No.
Now this is where I want to pause and talk about Rusty and why he would leave her alone with the children after the doctor had strongly warned against this.
Let's talk about Rusty.
So yeah, you had brought up parental responsibilities. So Rusty had started leaving Andrea alone for a few hours at a time periodically because he thought it would improve her independence.
Mm-hmm.
Rusty had announced at a family event the week before this awful day that he had decided to leave Andrea home alone for an hour each morning and each evening so that she would not become totally dependent on him and his mother for her maternal responsibilities. So it's like, I don't know if he was taking it as serious as it was, like thinking that she would just learn to cope.
Yeah.
When she physically can't.
When she
mentally can't. It's not just depression, it's psychosis.
It is psychosis, and it is serious. All mental illness is very, very serious and needs to be
treated
as such. And I just feel like our system
is flawed.
And this took place in Texas, which is a little different than California, you know?
Yeah.
They don't see things the way that we do.
Yeah.
So I think that the help is so much more limited.
Yeah. And even there was an interview done where Andrea's brother had recalled a time where Rusty and him, I believe they were taking Andrea to or picking her up from one of her hospital stays, where Rusty had said all depressed people needed was a swift kick in the pants.
Okay, that's
to get them motivated. And that's not exactly the right attitude.
That's
to be
the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
It's not taking the diagnosis serious at that point.
And this is where I kind of go back and forth with Rusty.
Yeah. It's hard to even, there's so many areas where things could have been different.
This is an onion. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's so many layers to this story and so many moving parts that I don't think we'll ever know. And it sucks because she is deemed herself uncredible by having these mental illnesses in the court of law or the eyes of society. And I think that is like a hard place to land.
Yeah.
You know, for anybody, because you really feel like you don't have a voice, or when you do speak, like people don't listen or take you seriously.
Yeah. Well, and
because
also
you're crazy.
Yeah. Well, you're saying things that aren't really making sense sometimes.
Right.
So, but yeah, Rusty also stated later, that he was not aware that Andrea was psychotic and was never informed that she could be a danger to the children. And if he had known, he wouldn't have pushed for more children. But I find that interesting because later on, when she's talking to her prison psychiatrist, she talks about them knowing, but having that 5th child anyway.
Yeah.
So that's just another little bullet point.
Yeah.
That I wanted to bring up.
No, I honestly, like, he's giving me the vibe that, like, he probably was loving, but he probably just didn't know better.
He came from a different religious background as well.
Yes.
So it's just how people perceive things. And
it's a shitty situation all in all. But
so now we're going to get into the trial or before the trial. So before the trial, Andrea rejected the offer to plead guilty in exchange for a life sentence. Although the defense expert agreed that Andrea was psychotic, in the state of Texas, the law requires the defendant to prove that they did not know right from wrong at the time of the crime.
Right.
And that in order to successfully assert the insanity defense.
Right.
So they had to prove that she didn't know right from wrong. In March of 2002, Yates was found guilty and convicted of capital murder. So the jury rejected the insanity defense at that point.
Yeah.
The prosecution had gone for the death penalty, but she was sentenced to life in prison with the eligibility for parole in 40 years.
40, yeah. So
on January 6, 2005, a Texas court appealed. They reversed the conviction because California psychiatrist and prosecution witness, Dr. Park Dietz, admitted that he had unintentionally, he didn't mean to do this, but a materially false testimony was given during the trial. He had testified that Andrea may have watched a episode of Law and Order where
I read this bullshit too.
Yeah, where a mother had drowned her children and got off on the insanity defense. So he's saying that she got the idea from that.
Yeah, it came out later that was complete bullshit because they didn't come out with that episode until after.
Right.
The writer was loosely based on her.
Yeah. The writer of the show, a writer for the show later reported that no such episode had existed.
It didn't.
And 2 years later, when Law and Order Criminal Intent aired an episode that was based off of the Yates case, that's the only one that it would have been.
Yeah.
The Appellate Court unanimously agreed that the jury might have been influenced by that testimony. So a new trial would be necessary.
Yeah.
So Yates again entered pleas of not guilty by reason of insanity. And in January of 2006, that happened and her lawyers rejected a plea offer for a 35-year sentence for non-capital murder. Andrea was then granted release on bail in February of 2006 on the condition that she would be admitted to a mental health treatment facility.
Right. Which is where she needs to be.
Right.
In the first place.
Yeah, she needs proper treatment.
Yeah. And it just sucks that it took her having to do the unthinkable to get the help that she fucking needed in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
That pisses me off.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. On July 26, 2006, after 3 days of deliberation, Yates was found not guilty by reason of insanity, as defined by the state of Texas. And then she was committed to the North Texas State Hospital on the Vernon campus. And in 2007, she was moved to the Kernville State Hospital, a low security mental facility in Kernville, Texas. And that's where she still is today.
Yeah.
It was in agreement that she was severely mentally ill by both the defense and the prosecution, by their psychiatrists. They both agreed.
Good.
But the state of Texas declared, and the jury also agreed, that by definition, she knew the difference between right and wrong, despite her mental defect. Like, she chose to do it. Because there was a day where she thought about it and then she didn't do it.
Well, having moments of clarity is not the same as being mentally competent.
Yeah. And it was also...
There's a difference. And that's where people need to educate themselves a little bit.
And I think you'll think that this is interesting too, but it was also implied by the prosecution that spousal revenge may have been a motive for the killing, but the jury disagreed. The jury disagreed. There wasn't enough evidence for that. But during the trial, Rusty maintained the thought that Andrea would be found innocent.
Yes.
Yeah.
He also wanted to have more babies.
Yeah. To
possibly
the horror.
Adopt.
Yeah.
I'm like, you unalived 5 children. Here, have another. Like,
yeah. No.
Are you serious?
Andrea's family, the attorneys, the Houston psychiatrist, they all were horrified.
So
by the
like,
fact
Rusty, are you okay? And this is giving
he
a lot of doubt with this information.
But finally he realized that was never gonna happen. Like she was never gonna get out it was never gonna be a normal life for them.
Yeah.
It was like devastation.
Yeah.
Like he did love her and he, but that was just not in the cards. They did divorce in 2005.
Do you think that Rusty was trying to build this, like, and this is just a theory that I had come across. This isn't my theory. This is something that I read online. Do you think that Rusty was trying to create this like cult of one man leader, impregnates his wife, has so many kids that he's able to create this own religious
with Rusty?
Yes.
Rusty. I don't think so. No, I don't think that Rusty's cult leader material.
Okay.
Not at all. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be cult leader. It's just,
I think, that's
cult-ish.
Now I want to revisit Michael Woroneicki and his connection to Andrea Yates because it was his teachings that were
exactly.
So it's alleged that Michael Woroneicki had some religious influence over Andrea Yates and bore some responsibility to the murders due to his teachings. It's widely believed that Michael Woroneicki's teaching intensified Andrea's severe mental illness and influenced her in her decision to ultimately drown her 5 children. So in his teachings, they want you to have as many kids as you can. Like he had a lot of kids. Like there are multiple families that were under his influence where it was like, have children, homeschool them, keep them isolated and away from satanic influence. Mm-hmm. So in that sense,
exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah. In one of Woroneicki's, in his newsletter, is called The Perilous Times. It would, families would receive these newsletters in the mail. They would correspond through mail all the time. And it suggested that unrighteous mothers produce unrighteous children. And those unrighteous children are doomed to burn in hell unless they die young. So, I mean, what can you expect?
Tell me that shit is not a cult.
Yeah.
And I will die on that fucking hill.
Yeah.
Like, for lack of a better term, guys, I'm sorry.
So while in prison, Andrea stated that she had thought about killing her children for 2 years. She added that her children thought she was not a good mother and claimed that her sons were developing improperly. She told her jail psychiatrist it was the 7th deadly sin. My children weren't righteous. They stumbled because I was evil. The way I was raising them, they would never be saved. They were doomed to perish in the fires of hell. So she's taking these teachings and it's like combined with her psychosis. She's seeing these visions. She's seeing demons, like she's she's watching cartoons with her children and she's seeing her children communicating with the characters in the cartoons. Yeah. Like she's
thinking that everything's the devil.
Yeah. It was clear that her belief was that the children needed to die before the age of accountability. And that's a line from the documentary. Hmm. So that documentary, it's called The Cult Behind the Killer, the Andrea Yates story, and it's available to stream on HBO Max. And like I said, it heavily influenced this whole episode. Yeah. But where is Andrea now?
She is in the
the same mental facility since 2007. Yeah. And I read this article.
Real quick. She refuses to do assessments.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Because in the state of Texas, they go at the maximum level. So unless they deem her like fit, she's in there forever.
Yeah.
Until they think that she's not.
Yeah.
And she keeps refusing.
Yeah. She can get evaluated once a year. Yeah. And she refuses her determination.
You know what? Maybe she's doing really well. I like to think that.
Well, I did see that she was ultimately diagnosed with bipolar, and she started on lithium, which has worked for her. She's way more functioning. But yeah, I'm sure she feels safe in there.
Yeah. And maybe being on the right medications under the proper care, now she's cognitive enough to know and realize that if she were to leave, it's going to be bad for her.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and she can't forgive herself.
Yeah.
She's unable to forgive herself.
Right.
And Rusty, they stay in contact.
Okay.
They will, I think, text or write letters back and forth periodically. He's remarried, but he tries to go visit her at least once a year in person. Okay. And he's remarkably forgiving of her. So he knows that it wasn't her, it was her mental illness that caused her to do this. And he forgives her more than she forgives herself. And
maybe it's that religion. Maybe it's doing something good for him. Huh?
Yeah. So he is remarried, and he does have another son.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's where we're at.
Good luck to them.
Yeah.
And I do mean that. That's not sarcastic. I do wish them the best, truly.
Yeah. So yeah, that is the story of Andrea Yates.
Yeah.
We hope we did it justice. I know there's so much information out there, and we only have about an hour to get through it. So I encourage everyone to go take a look at all the different resources out there and learn a little more yourself and stick with us for more episodes like this. Next week's going to be way wackier. Yeah, that's for sure.
I did want to add a little number at the end. It's a suicide hotline. It is, wait, I have it. Sorry. It is 988. Super easy. So if you're struggling,
just call 988.
Just call 988.
Yeah.
I'll help you.
That's very important. And thank you for bringing that up, because if you need help, call 988. Reach out to us. Yeah. We're willing to help anybody at any time.
559-365-6217. We will also take your calls.
Yeah, we love every single one of you, and we appreciate you. We appreciate that you're here with us today and that you continue to support us. Find us on Instagram and TikTok at TFMO Hot and Talking Podcast, and you can email us at tfmohotandtalking@gmail.com. But until next week, we love you very much.
We love you very much.